Peace and blessings, y'all. It's your girl, Elisha. I just got up about 30 or 40 minutes ago, and for whatever reason, this message was on my heart and on my mind. So I said I'll go ahead and make a video. Just want to preface this video with the warning that this is meat, as in solid food. It's not milk information, and I always take my a majority of my references from the Bible because it is a book that was actually compiled for people who had the capability to see esoteric knowledge, occult, hidden knowledge. It says this in the book itself. So there's different levels of understanding in the Bible, of course, because it's a universal book. It's not just a Christian book. It's not just for the Hebrews or the Jews or, you know, whoever wants to lay claim and say, oh, this is the book that God laid down for us. It's not true. It's actually one of the upper level advanced placement books, if you want to be honest. So if you have the understanding of that, and the overstanding and the understanding that that is what that book is, then this message is for you. And then on top of that, I know a lot of people who have a lot of higher knowledge, but they don't have the wisdom. The entire Bible is very wisdom based and has to be wisdom guided. So if you have like anything against the Bible, because I've talked to a lot of people, and you got these people who say, oh, the Bible's full of fairy tales. And then they especially don't like the Old Testament because it talks about a lot of violent things. Murders, rapes, kill them all. You know, sell your daughter off and do all these different things. Let me clear something up for you. If you have anything against the Bible, let me clear something up for you. It is not to be taken exoterically. Exoteric definition is applied externally, outside, to other things that aren't you. The first and foremost application of the Bible has to be esoterically, which is internally. It has to be applied to you. Now let me tell you this. If you apply it that way, first to you, you're going to see how it all applies outwardly. And then it won't mess you up in the head. Because I can totally get now. You know, I used to be like, why are people so against it? And even I had my moments where I was like, you know, because, you know, I went to church too, and I was indoctrinated, and I had all these things just planted in my head. And I never saw certain scriptures and certain references. I was like, well, dang, you know, when I actually started reading on my own and looking at it apart or aside from someone indoctrinating me and programming me to see it a certain way, I actually said to myself too, this Bible is kind of violent. Like, why is all this rape and sell your daughter off and stone people? What is all that about? It's not no loving God. So let me break down something for you. If you apply it exoterically to other people, you always see it like that. And then, you know, you get these certain people who are prone to connect with that, and they're like, yeah, kill them all. That's ego talking, honey. That's not, you're not up here. You way down here in the lower regions, and that's your ego screaming and saying, oh my gosh, don't kill me. You're trying to make sure, you're lashing out at other people and trying to make sure they're destroyed so you're not destroyed. That's what the ego does, okay? That's what the Lord does. But just so you know, you can't destroy your ego. You have to make peace with it. That's a side note, though. I'm going to make plenty more videos. But this one is about one specific topic. But I have to give you some prerequisites, because in any school of knowledge, you have to have the prerequisites. When you go to regular school, prerequisites. This is no different. This is the mystery school. This is esoteric knowledge. You got to have prerequisites. Otherwise, you won't get it. I don't know what you have, specifically whoever I'm talking to, whoever's listening. So I'm just going to try to make sure I give you everything you need. I'm on Facebook. I'm going to put my link to my page in the description box so that you can ask questions, connect, do things like that, because I want you to ask questions. I'm just a guide. I'm just trying to give you the tool that you need to actually understand. If you have anything against anything or anybody on this planet, then you need some guidance. Because I'm telling you, there's no reason to be mad with anybody. There's no reason to blame the white man. There's no reason to blame the Illuminati. There's no reason to blame the elite. There's no reason to blame the government. There's no bad thing that's happening on this planet at this time, or any time in the past, or any time in the future, that has anything to do with anybody other than self. Every bad thing, every evil thing that you don't like happens because of your perception of the world and what's going on around you. And if you're tired of feeling like a victim, and you're tired of feeling like everything's against you and you have no power, I'm here to give you your power back. Via knowledge, via the truth, via giving you light. That's all I'm giving you. That's exactly what Jesus said. I am the way, the truth, and the life. Okay? The light. What am I claiming to be? That's not the point. What I'm trying to get you to hear is He gave them light. He was trying to show them something. And if you can turn off the programming for just a minute and actually listen to what the message was, you'll see that that is what He was doing, giving them light. He was not saying, I am the Savior and I'm going to come back for you and save you. And that's exactly what this video is about. If you think that, you're going to be sadly disappointed because it's not happening. Nobody's coming back to save you. Salvation is totally up to you. And that is what a lot of Eastern religions teach. Basically, based off of the doctrine of, or the understanding of reincarnation. You will not just be doing this one time. I'm going to show you in the Bible where it says that. But it's esoteric. That means it's kind of hidden, or occult. Let's say it's occult, because occult means hidden. Let's stop being scared of the spooky words. Occult. Oh my gosh, it's a cult. You've been programmed to believe that occult means evil. Go define occult. I want you, if you're online right now, you can pull up a tab and you can look up the word occult. Occult means hidden. The word occult is in the Bible all kind of times. Mysteries. What is a mystery? It means it's something hidden, right? Isn't that the same thing? Let's stop being spooked. Like I said, I'm here to give you light. I'm here to give you your power back via the light. And I'm here to show you that there's nothing to be scared of. There's no person outside of you to be afraid of. There's no group or organization. This world is not jacked up. If you think that, then that's the way it's going to be for you, because you are creating that. And I'm going to tell you pretty plainly how you're going to create the jacked up future that you think you're going to have, how you're going to create all this evil, and how you're drawing it to you. Now, via the Bible, there's a parable. Make something very clear. Like I said, I'm going to put some links to my Facebook page in the description box. Then I'm going to put a way for you to get a hold of some of these videos, because I feel like there's already brilliant people out there who have already made great videos. No reason for me to remake them. What I'm doing is pulling it all together. I don't need to like redo the video on what the Bible really is, because somebody's already done a great job at doing that, and gratitude, much thanks to them for doing that, because they took their time out to sit and educate and enlighten and illuminate people so they can understand and understand what the Bible really is. The Bible is not what you think it is. It is a great book, but if you don't know what it really is and what its purpose really is, then you'll always be in this cycle of not knowing the full truth. And that's what we want, to know the fullness of truth. So the Bible, one of the parables that was taught in the book of Matthew, okay? The 4 Gospels are not what you think they are. We'll break that down another day, and I'll start putting links, and so you can follow the trail of like real and true information. One of these parables actually talks about what happens to people who have the mind frame or mindset, or they're in that box, that somebody's coming back to save them. And basically, you are in this body of sin, and this body is bad, and this flesh is evil. That's programming. Because when it talks about the body of sin and the flesh wars against the spirit, it's not talking about, the flesh does war against the spirit, but this is what you have to advance to. It's not supposed to be that way. The only time people war or have a fight or an argument or something like that is when there's a misunderstanding. In reality, there's no reason for us to have wars on this planet. There's no reason for us to be at each other's throats and fighting over oil and all this foolishness people do. There is enough in this universe for everyone. The planet's not going to run out of things. The only reason it runs out of things is because you don't put back into the system. When these people talk about recycling and all these things and taking care of Mother Earth, you don't respect the one that gives you life in this current circumstance of this realm. Now, what am I talking about? My religious folks will be like, what are you talking about? God gave us life, and God gave us the earth and all these things. You're worshiping the earth, and you're idolatry, stoner, blasphemy. No. If that's where you are, and you can't get past, and you don't understand that the gods and lords there are many. Let me tell you something. If you've never heard this, look in your book. The book that you say is your holy book. It tells you very plainly, lords and gods there are many. How can God say not to have the Most High God, okay? Say to not have any other gods before me if there were no other gods? How can you be threatened by something that doesn't exist? Now, I understand. You're going to be like, they were false gods. They weren't real. These people were personifying and looking at these statues, and they were saying, ooh, you're God, and I'm going to worship you. And they were worshiping the planets, and they were worshiping the stars, and they were worshiping the trees and saying, oh, you give me life. And they worship the actual sun and the God. I know about the sun gods. I know about all that stuff. Let me tell you something. They are gods. They are. Now, don't click the stop button and run away yet. Just listen. The Bible cannot be read the way you've been reading it if you're going to enter and understand it. You have to read it this way. The highest expression of yourself is the Most High. The first cause of all things is the Most High. That's already happened. That happened a long time. There's no time really, but for all intents and purposes of this video, it happened a long time ago. Okay? That's already been done. You have fallen. You are the fallen angels. People walk around here, this exoteric application, walk around here saying that, oh my gosh, this is fallen angels. Some people can perceive that and some people don't. Some people are like, what fallen angels are you talking about? Then people want to talk about the devil's a fallen angel. And some people want to talk about the Nephilim. And then they made it human women and blah, 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 and all these things. And they're all here running around here wreaking havoc. No, that's you. The first application, the first and foremost application of the Bible must be applied to self. If you don't do that, then nothing else will make sense. Well, it'll make a little sense, but what will happen is you'll still miss the mark. You'll still be in sin. But you have to define sin properly. I'm going to do a whole other video on the proper definition of sin, because I think there's a deep topic and something. There's another religious program that needs to be altered, cut. You got to break out of that, because it's not going to serve you. Once you reach a certain point, you got to start defining words correctly. So when it talks about the Most High God, what we're doing is we have fallen from the highest point where we were. You've fallen, and you're having to ascend back up. There's plenty of references to that. There's a reference in one of the things, Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, one of those books, it says the one that ascends must first descend. You can't climb anything if you've never fallen. So you've fallen. You are the fallen angels. There's no other fallen angels per se. Now, certain things manifest because what we think and what happens, but that's another story, another video. So you have the Most High expression of yourself, which you are at one time were one with. You were that, okay? And then you expressed yourself in many ways. All these things around you are your kinfolk, whether you believe it or not. This bobby pin, inorganic object, is still my kinfolk. You don't believe that? That's fine. You know, that's cool. But let's say something you might be able to accept more. Trees are your kinfolk. They have the same DNA that you do. They have the same components that you do, okay? They're just arranged differently. There's the periodic table, all those basic elements. Everything that exists everywhere has those same things. So that is genetic blueprint. That is the potential, the blueprint that creates all things, right? The basic things that make up all matter and all things. Ether and matter. It makes up everything. But in this realm, we have these solid things that we can see, like the periodic table. So, and then you have the etheric. You need to talk about 4 elements here, but we don't talk about the 5th element and all these other things. They do in movies, which most people don't pay attention to, but those are messages, things trying to get you to remember the truth and what's really going on. So the Most High expression of yourself, you were once one with that, and you are that. You have to wrap your head around. That's why Jesus said, I am. Before Abraham, I am. If you don't enter and understand that, that's another video. You have to be able to say, I am. I am that. Because at one time, there was only one. Okay? There's just one. And you are an expression of that one. It might have happened a long time ago, way down the line. That's where ancestry comes from, okay? So technically, the trees are your ancestors. And technically, the sun is your ancestor. And technically, the moon and the stars and the planet are your ancestors, because you have the same genetic components that they do. You have the same, you might have the same stuff. They say we might have star stuff. We are. Look, go get a book and read and figure out what the stars and all that stuff is made out of. And then look at what things in your body, the minerals. People are very focused on, I think there's a reason why they're so focused on calories, carbs, and what's the other thing? Fat. The macronutrients. Very few people focus on the micronutrients. You need to focus on the micronutrients, then you will start to see. There's a reason why, because of the ego, it manifests outwardly. So you have all these, the Illuminati, the elites, and all these different organizations, the government. That's your own ego manifesting outwardly and thwarting your own growth and development, because the ego is so afraid of being destroyed and cast away. You have to let the ego know. That's why it says in the Bible, love your enemies. If you can't do that, that's why you never get anything else, because you cannot love. Love is giving. Love is uniting. God is love, okay? If you can't love your enemies, then you're going to keep outwardly blaming everybody else, and you're not going to see how that's you. The reason why you can't understand what I'm, if you don't understand what I'm saying, the reason why you can't is because you continue to hate and continue to not do what the book is telling you. The book is actually just a guide. It's guiding you and showing you how you should conduct yourself. And if you would just do it, then other things would be given to you and you would understand. Okay? So, the highest expression of yourself had children and descendants, and you are one of those descendants. But there's things that came before you. Before you came out of your mother's womb, that sun was up there. Before you came out of your mother's womb, the stars were up there. So those, are your ancestors. If you can't even respect them and honor them, we're not talking. People don't. We'll define worship in another video too. If you can't, because this video will get long. If you can't honor them, then you're never going to get to the next point. There is a ladder you have to climb. You are not at the point yet of worshiping the Most High God, okay? That's what most people are not there. You are actually at this level. There's a lot of new information that's come out about, it's probably not new information, it's old. People probably been debating this for a long time, but about the name of the Most High God. And then they'll say it's not the Lord. Well, the Bible is not talking about the Most High. The only time it's really kind of talking about the Most High is maybe with Moses and what he was doing, because that's a procession backwards. This Bible is a big circle. It starts here and then goes around and comes right back to the like 360 degrees. Okay, goes all the way around and comes right back to where it started. You're supposed to be headed towards Eden. Most people are stuck on Moses, because Moses gave a very powerful word. And even if you don't enter and understand a word, it can still draw you. That's how crazy powerful words are. So when Jesus said, you have cast your hope on Moses, okay, and he's going to judge you, okay, that most people are stuck on Moses. Well, let's say it like this, Black Hebrew Israelites, that movement, they're stuck on Moses, because they said, oh, we're Israel and we're going to get there. And they want to talk about the law and stick it with, oh, you're not supposed to eat pork and shrimp, but they'll eat any other form of meat. Well, actually, if you really want to ascend all the way to where you're supposed to ascend to, you shouldn't eat meat at all. It activates DNA. It activates your memory. So if you really want to be real, you're still missing the mark. But hey. So most of the Bible is not even talking about the Most High. It's not talking about the first expression, the first creation of all things. It's not. Bubble burster. Pop, pop, pop. Sorry, it's not. It's talking about the gods that you talk about in the Greek pantheon. That's what it's talking about. The gods that talk about in the Hindu, that's what it's talking about. These are different cultures and they all have different names, different expressions. These are all expressions or attributes of God. That's all it is. And the Bible is talking about them. They took out the names of the gods, and all these names you talk about, Jehovah, Yahweh, Yah. Those are the names in like the Hebrew kind of tongue for those gods. And then actually it's got a lot of mixture of other ones, because the Bible is just a compilation of many, 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 many stories. It is not one book. These stories have been rehashed, retold. The Epic of Gilgamesh is in there. Noah. It's just they put some new names on it and they retold the story. Cain and Abel. Jacob and Esau, that's the same story, but it just changed around some. They just changed the names. Bubble popper, burster. Sorry, it's the truth. Now, if you don't understand it or know that, I got a video for you. Great Brother did a good video breaking it down. So the Bible itself is talking about the gods. In Hebrew, God, Elohim, plural. The gods created the heavens and the earth. It's a fact. Now, instead of letting the cognitive dissonance come in and your religious programmer starts playing, oh no, that is a lie, that is demonic, that is idolatry, don't listen to that. Instead of succumbing to that, slow down. Let's explore that. Why does it say that? It says in the book itself, lords and gods, there are many. And then Paul said, but for us there's one. What he was talking about, he is already, first of all, Paul was a Gnostic. Whether you want to accept it or not, he was a Gnostic. He was speaking occult, inner, experiential, not experiential, I can't say the word, knowledge that you experience. I can't say that word. But he was speaking of something way deeper than what you think he was talking about. That's why a lot of people don't like him. I've been involved in all kinds of little groups and cliques of religions and peoples, and I've listened to what they said, and none of it adds up. Because then they want to say, well, Paul's false prophet or false apostle, and he was lying. No, he wasn't. You just don't understand what he's saying because you're not thinking spiritually. And your Christian recorder and the programming is still playing. That's what's crazy. All these Hebrew Israelites say, oh yeah, we've been freed and we were set free and we're going, Yah's going to save. No, you have just changed gods. All you did was go from Jesus to Yah, and you're still waiting on him to come save you. Not all Hebrew Israelites hate the man. I'm just telling you what they say. They say the white man's the devil. Some of them. Not all of them. I'm just reporting. That's what they say. I don't believe that at all. So don't get me mixed up with that. At least I do not believe that. It's no devil but what's inside you. But we talked about that yesterday. But oh my goodness, they externalize everything, and they're still externalizing their salvation. Not gonna work. But like I said, this is meat. This is for people who have eyes to see, ears to hear. If you don't want to hear it, you can. I would love for you to listen and try to gain some insight and clarity. But there's things in the Bible that don't add up if you read it due to religious programming that's been placed upon it, okay? So if it says lords and gods, there are many. There are. He said there are, but for us it's one. The word one is ikad. It can mean one, a number, or it can mean unity. He's talking about they've ascended. They've climbed the ladder. That's Jacob's ladder, okay? They've climbed the ladder, and they've seen that there's this one unity, okay? And then from that one came many, okay? There's a body. They've achieved all the knowledge they need to achieve to understand that or understand that, okay? And they've come together. That's what he meant by one. He wasn't saying there's only one God, because right now the sun is a god. That's why they worship the sun. It's just real. You need to define the word God. You need to understand what the word God means. Then you will see that there is more than one. You have to honor. It's just, why do you say honor your mother and your father? If you can't even honor the people that you, oh my gosh, what does the Bible say? If you can't even love the ones that you see, how can you say you love God that you don't see? That doesn't make any sense. If you can't have some kind of respect and honor for the things that gave you parentage here, and whether you want to believe it or not, the earth did give you parentage. You came from the earth. A long time you were a single cell organism and you evolved from that. Okay? So the earth gave you life. And the only reason you're here is because blah, 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 blah. And when I say you were a single cell, you reincarnated. That's how you went through all that. Because no, you were not here. You were here a billion years ago. Your DNA has always been here. And I guess I have to do another video to break down how you've always been here. So it's very simple to understand if you want to understand it. So you've always been here. You've evolved from that, and you keep going back into the earth because of the limitations of this body. Because for one, let me tell you this: if I probably shouldn't say that because that's probably too much. Like, even if you are ready to hear this, but like, that's what this whole, you know, I know I've gone like 25 minutes giving a prerequisite or preface to my video. So I'm gonna actually stop it here, but that's my prerequisite. You have to be ready to understand it. Then I'm gonna do the video because I want it to be where, because I know some people have short attention spans. It's just the truth. I'm just messing with y'all. I'm gonna stop it here, and this is like the prerequisite to why you have to take care of this body. And you can't wait. You can't say, well, I'm going to eat this and I'm going to do this and do that and then pray over it and it's cool. That's not how it works. You have to respect the place you're in now and then get to the next level. And then you can do certain things. But you have to be faithful where you are. So I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to upload it. I want you to just kind of digest that, what I just said, and then we'll go into why you can't just do what you want in this body and think that you're going to go to the next level. You know, they talk about in the Bible, you know, you'll be changed in a moment of the twinkling of an eye, and you'll be, you know, have this new body and all that stuff. The incorruptible will take on the corruptible will take on the incorruptible. You can't just, it's not just this faith and you say, oh, I believe. Faith without works is dead. D-E-A-D, dead. There's no life in just believing something and not having any action or manifestation behind it. So, peace and blessings. I'm going to get you the actual explanation of the parable I was talking about in Matthew 25. Peace.